you. Thank you very much. For my next joke. So, this is a challenge for all designers, because I think we live in a time when we need to change. And we're finally getting the tools to do it. This is, maybe you just, that would be wonderful. Next. So, what I'm going to show you is a little bit of an exhibit I did at the National Design Museum in New York City, which is part of the Smithsonian. It's about universal design. The other thing I'm going to show you is a little bit of information about a new project I'm working on, which is called super sensing, with my crazy Japanese friend, which I will also show you later on. Super sensing is, do you all know what universal design is? No, you don't. Because there's no blind people here today. And you're all able. Does everyone have all their legs? And arms, eyes, nose, ears? You know nothing about it. Next. Next. So how do these two ideas complement each other? How does universal design, which is designed for everybody, everywhere, with everything working for everyone, and super sensing go together? So first we're going to do is we're going to talk about universal design. Next. So this is where this happened. This was in a Starbucks in New York City with my crazy friend Satoshi, which I'll show you a picture of later. This is the sketch. Smart products, universal design. There's a big problem. And we all know what it is, but I'll get to that later. Next. Okay. This is my definition of universal design. Universal design is everything designed for everyone to be used everywhere. This is impossible. You know that. But we can try. Next. Okay, so this is the guy that got me started in it. I can blame him. His name is George Covington. He was born with 10% sight in one eye. How many of you are lawyers? He's a lawyer. How many of you are journalists? Oh, he's a journalist. How many of you worked in the president's office in your country? He did. He's on Air Force One with the Vice President of the United States. So in America, we blame George for the American with Disabilities Act, which is supposed to allow everyone to go everywhere with everything. Now, down here, you can read, right? All right, so photographers can see, therefore they photograph. George photographs to see. And the reason he can see a photograph is that you'll see over there, those are the photographs, is they're black and white. Very few tones. In this room, there's 10 million tones. He can't see. But if he takes a picture of you, he can see. Next. All right, so we started out, we wrote a book. This is called Access by Design. Now, have any of you ever written a book with a blind guy? It's a lot of fun, actually, because you can write down anything he says. He says something, you write down whatever you want to. You can't read it. So we would travel around the country, we wrote this book. So this was sort of the basis for, okay, next. Oh, and this was the second basis. If you don't like the graphics, you could blame Milton Glaser. You know who he is? He's the guy, I love everything, right? So I know Milton for years, so the reason that I always ask Milton to do the graphics is he's so famous. When someone, says, who did those terrible graphics? Oh, Milton Glaser. So this was the first international conference, Access to Daily Living, in 1992 in New York City. And then, I'll get to that later. Next. Okay, so George and I got together, And we sold this idea to the woman who was director of the Smithsonian Design Museum. Her name was Diane Pilgrim. She just happened to have a little thing called muscular dystrophy, so she was in a wheelchair, you know. And her husband left her the day that she got it. Really nice guy. I think he's going to work for Trump. That was supposed to be funny. Okay, next. All right, next. All right, this is the Smithsonian. You ever go to New York, 92nd Street? Nice place near Central Park. It was Carnegie's mansion. You know, we have this guy in the United States, Carnegie Steel, right? 3 people lived here. It's like, 90 rooms. Next. All right, so this was sort of the motto that we started with, and I still like it, the chicken and the egg. Which came first? So I didn't do these graphics, by the way. I do very little as a designer. I hire people to do it. They're much smarter than me. And this young man in San Francisco did this. So the line is, whether you're 8 or 80, you want the world to work for you. Chicken and egg. Okay, next. So when we did this exhibit, we defined all of the things that you do every day. You get up, you make coffee. Does everybody get up and make coffee? No, tea, whatever, That's after you do the other things that, we don't want to talk about. That we make that later. Okay, next. But you do all these things. All right, so the other thing we tried to do was try to redefine the word design. So if you put and I know you guys have like one more letter. So that's great. We get rid of the G and we get the O, right? So I think English is 6 letters, right? And you have 7. So we could add something else here today. So we tried to define it, and we tried to define it next by making the D demographics. And, the idea is that one size does not fit all. We know that. You go and buy a T-shirt, you want a small, medium, or large. Designers don't think that way. For some reason, what? Nah, it's okay. So this is demographics. Next. Economics. When you design, you want everybody to have it, right? Okay. Next. Senses. We have 5. I think we have about 10. So it's sight and all those things. The one thing that designers neglect when they're designing things is this thing called common sense. Oh no, I want it to be red. Oh, okay. Intuition. Everything should be intuitive when you see it. When you don't we all hate it? I mean, it doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. Next, generation. So we go back to the chicken and the egg. Should work for the 80-year-old grandmother, great-grandmother, and the 8-year-old child. Next, navigation. This was, I think, a Spanish guy. No, he's an Italian guy working for the Spanish. Right. But we, as designers, we want people to be able to go someplace. And they want to be able to go someplace. Next. Okay, so then we divided it up into kitchen, bath, garden, play, navigation, access, and work. Okay, so those are each a room. Now, it's a very interesting museum. Anybody ever been? Cooper Hewitt? Cooper Hewitt, 92nd Street. It's the only national design museum that we have in New York City. It's worth going to. But the thing is that it's like a mansion. Go ahead. Oh, there you go. So this was a kitchen that was designed by 2 people, Jane Langmuir, you don't know her name, Mark Harrison. You've used his products. He's the designer of the Cuisinart. And the first one, before they all of a sudden they got design thinking involved, it was the switch. The old one, you turn the whole thing. So if you're arthritic or you're young or you're old, right? No, we can't do that anymore. Let's put an on-off switch. That's a little dumb. Right, okay. So this is the two kitchens. I don't know whether you all know Martha Stewart. That's the Martha Stewart on the right. Your left, which is the one you want. Everybody wants a big kitchen and they eat frozen food. You know that, right? And then over here is the mini kitchen, which conceptually is a single appliance that you plug in. It's done. And by the way, it goes up and down, it moves. Next. Now, the other thing we tried to go is along the way where we're doing universal design, we tried to give designers hints about what people actually do and how they do it. You'd be surprised how many designers forget that people are actually going to use their product. They want it to go in the Museum of Modern Art immediately, right? From there, oh my God, I'm famous. Next. So this one, you see, now stop here. This is very interesting. Go back. Let's see. Next. There's three. Go the other way. Ah! When the graphic designer finally got done with all the illustrations, all of the hands were white. And it was like inclusive, you know that word? So he went back and go back a little bit. Go back. See, different color hands. This is, people think, oh, universal design, let's build a ramp and everybody will be happy. What? It's a very complicated idea. Next. Oh, this is a kitchen. This is the bath. So there's a lot of things, but I think the next one is much more fun. This is one of the graphics we came up with, right? Now, if you're in a wheelchair, can you surf? Part of this is to open the world up. So that we tried to represent that with the photos. Next. Oh, well, you know all this. Don't you know all this? No. I'm staying in the Trip Hotel, which is a hotel for someone who doesn't stay in their room. You go sleep, boom, And if you wake up fast in the middle of the night, you will hit a wall, a door, or your knee. It's a lovely hotel. I'm not complaining, But I think of George, blind in that room, forget it, he's dead. An 80-year-old woman, forget it. It's like, wait a minute, where am I? It's designed, probably designed by 27-year-olds for 27-year-olds. But there's a lot of things there that are very interesting, lever forces and stuff like that. Which, by the way, the other thing I noticed about my hotel room this morning, everything is very high style. So there's a lot of sharp edges on the faucet. Oh yes, we'll sell a lot of those. It did sell a lot of them. But if I ever fell in the bathroom, I'd never get up. I would have the thing implanted on my head. Next. The garden. And every one of these things, this is a brief survey of it. Next. It's like someone with arthritis, how do they dig in the garden? First of all, you have to raise the bed. Because once they get down, anybody old people that are around, they get down on the ground, they can't get up. It will happen to you, by the way. There's two things that can happen in your life. You cannot get old or you will get old. The second option is better. Next. Leverage, okay, it's not pretty, but do you think she cares? No. We'll make it pretty later. Next. Reach. So all through it, this exhibit, there were these suggestions that maybe this is a good idea. Next. Playground. We built a playground, a working playground in the museum, which it's on the Upper East Side of New York City. If you know anything about New York City, right? It's like where a lot of rich people live. So there's multinational families that really don't exist. You knew that, right? Nannies and children. Multinational family. And so we had a book at times because we let the kids play on it. But this was designed by a guy named Kevin Owens, who, if you're all, I don't know, some of you are students, possibly some of you are not, but if you know, he graduated with a degree in industrial design, then he graduated with a degree in architecture. And then he said, what do I do? And so he went to this little company, it was a tiny little company at the time, Playworld, and he said, I'm an architect and an industrial designer, and I want to design your stuff. And the owner said, can you design pallets? Shipping containers, can you do that? Okay, I'll do that. But then all of a sudden, he was on the our presidential committee for accessibility. So he helped write all the rules, then he designed to them. Next. More of them, okay. You don't think of someone not being able to catch a ball. There's a lot of people that can't. So this was like a display of all the balls they could catch. Next. This is designed by Roger Whitehouse, great graphic designer. This is the Lighthouse. That's for blind people in New York City. But it uses almost every single sense that you can think of. It talks to you as you approach it. It's big. It says what it is. It has texture that announce it, and it has Braille. It's like, okay. I mean, how many people, I'm kind of bored by the whole like man-woman thing, bathroom thing, because it's confusing, by the way. I don't know how many of you ever had anything to drink and walked in the wrong one, because it's like, oh, is that a skirt? Are that legs? What? Is that shorts? Looks like shorts to me. So we're not very clear, right? Next. And then this is handles. We had Philip Stark handles, $3,000. Then we had the $1.99 plastic thing that you clamp on. I mean, you've had lever handles forever. But in America, it's like, oh my God, lever handles. But so you have to tell people, that this is what happens. You can open the door with your elbow. Who knew? Next. Lever door. This drawing of this handle, by the way, this is designed in 1953 by the model maker, his name is Potente, at FSB. He was the model maker. And then, all the designers came through. He wrote a little book about lever handles that they still publish. And it was like, you find out, this thing has been in production since 1953. It's like one of their best-selling, things. He actually knows why he designed it, other than my whole thing is straight lines. It has an X on the end. Okay. But this has an amazing story behind it that you should go find out about. All right, next. Next, 1953. See there? Okay, how many people buy a T-shirt that's the wrong size? You do? No, but you go to the go to the T-shirt site. It's like they have small, medium, large. In America, we have gigantic. They just start with the X's. No, gigantic. But do you know where I'm going with this? It's a really smart guy. How many people know what the Aeron chair is? You know the Aeron chair. Okay. Next. I said now small, medium, large, blah, 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 blah. Aeron chair. Bill Stump, right? Don Chadwick. They make one of those every 40 seconds, still. 1992. That's 23 years. Now they come in colors. Now this is a lesson for everybody that wants to be a designer. He designed, by the way, the ergon chair, the equi chair, In 30 years, he designed 3 different chairs. Ergon chair, which was the ergonomic chair, which was the, excuse the expression, bullshit ergonomic chair. Because the manager's chair was really big, because managers are really big. And the secretarial chair was really small, because secretaries are really small. It's the bullshit economic. We're still dealing with that. I mean, bullshit ergonomics. So he did that. Then I worked with him on a project with the Equichair. And then he did this. Now, if you're in the furniture business, you sell fabric, you sell color, you sell chairs, different colors, different textures, right? That was a big part of the business in 1992, 1990s when he did this. So he goes into the meeting, the sales meeting, and an office chair that had sold for like $500. Then you discount it. He presents this to Herman Miller, and he says, first of all, it costs twice what you wanted it to cost. It's a $1,000 chair, and it only comes in one color, and you can't put fabric on it. Can you imagine the sale? Can you imagine today trying to sell this? The sales team, oh no, all of the metrics say we have to have yellow and purple. This is literally one of the best-selling products of all time. It only comes in one color and 3 sizes. It's like a Hanes white t-shirt, right? He got really rich. Oh, so then I do other things like, this is part of what I do, right? I don't know, don't click on it. No, but this is a website for a movie called Freedom Machines, which is one of the things that we do for people as designers, people who are not free. We create objects that frees them. So this is all about what technology, this was about 10 years ago, what technology allows at that time for people to do. And then I picked my top 10 products and wrote part of the website for this. And it became the top 14 products because I couldn't get rid of them. So this is the keyboard. You know those keyboards for it? Remember, when everybody had like a big keyboard? It was one of the things I did. Next. Okay, so after we do this, we figure out, oh my God, people want to be, this is something that every single product should do, by the way. It should be safe, it should be easy to use, and it should be comfortable. Duh. When you pick up the knife and you try to cut it, oh my God. Richard Meyer, buy a piece of sandpaper, Next. All right, so you ask the question, is it safe physically? Maybe, okay. Next. Is this smart? And is it safe? You know the Nest thing? Yeah, it doesn't really work. We didn't get to that. Because no one really wants it, by the way. It's like 90% of the stuff in your iPhone. I really don't want that. Why would I want that? Next. All right, now this guy is really important, okay? Right, he's not Spanish. He's from Montreal. He wrote this book. Probably 20 years ago. It's called Home. And it's about this new idea that we have called comfort. How many people have grandparents? Yeah, everybody here has grandparents. They're really old or they're dead, right? I'll guarantee you when they grew up and they were born, the idea of being comfortable didn't exist. This is a very new idea. We take it for granted. In the Western world, it's like, oh yeah, I want the temperature to be 62.5 degrees. It's my perfect temperature. We're all become Princess and the Peas. Oh my God, my back. It's a totally new idea. Next. Oh, then there's super sensing. See, I keep saying this, change my life, please. Because I can't do it alone. All right, next. What is super sensing? Okay. Oh, I answered that question, I think. Go ahead. Ah, this is Satoshi. I told you, I'm not going to take blame for all of this. I've known Satoshi for about 30 years. He's a Japanese friend. I've worked in Japan. He works in America. We go back and forth, and we worked on universal design projects there in America. And he came up with this idea. And I'm going to reveal a personal thing, because I'm going to reveal a personal thing about him. He died about 18 months ago. Well, he had a major heart attack, and he thought he was going to die. In flatline. And so he has a stent. I died 9 years ago, 3 times. So I got him by 2. So I only have 6 left. Okay? You're with me on that, right? I'm not using one up tonight, by the way. All right. So he proposed this idea. It's like, okay, what is it? Go ahead. Next. Okay. So now remember those senses in universal design? Right? Now, what if you could increase them, each one of them, by 1,000%? We can do it. Technology is available. We can make glasses that have a little sensor right here. You can smell almost as good as your dog, which anybody that walks their dog should walk the dog with the super sensing glasses, and they'll go, oh, I know why he wants to go over there. You could do super hearing, which we'll get to later, okay? So now we have this technology. So now we've created a thing called the Super Sensing Forum. Where is the book? Oh, it's next. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, no, I'm going to explain what Super Sensing. Oh, God. So late. All right. So, okay. Okay, so this is the way the world normally works, right? With sensors. I mean, does anyone have a Fitbit? Fitbit. Does anybody have an iPhone? Do you check your steps? How does it know? I don't know. How does it know? Oh, it's got a little thing in there that reacts to your motion. It's super sensing you. Not really super sensing, but it's sensing you, right? Okay, imagine if you could do that, like really. So, all right, so iPhone, right? Environment, human, got it, right? This is where we're going. Next. Okay, so I did this. I made this specifically for today, right? That's Spain. If you want to know how bad your footprint is. That was not this week. Have you all been in Madrid this week? Because they've been raining the whole time. It's good. My God. And then we have the sensor, right? The super sensor. And then I put Picasso in there because I like him. You like him, Picasso? You have Guernica. You got Guernica. You know, a few other things possibly. Do you all know about the light drawings? They're amazing. Now, why I use the light drawing is that you can't see that. When he did that, the photographer's going, okay, do it now. What happened, right? And then they had to wait, you know, like, okay, let's develop it. Put it in the water. No, but here, what's great, that's what you're missing. Every day that you walk around, those moments, because you're not a super sensor, right? But we could do that. You're missing that. What did you miss today? You don't even know. It's not data I'm interested in, by the way, because I think that's, as the term we use in the United States, bullshit. Okay? Next. So now this is when it gets complicated, and I really don't understand it, but I put it up there because Satoshi said, well, you have to put that on. You know, I don't understand it, Satoshi. What are you talking about? No, but it's like environment or things, human over here, sensor, and now we can do all these things, speed, blah, 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 and then human over there, right? But with super sensors, it's going back and forth. You know, because you impact the environment and then, you know. That's what he told me to say. Next. Okay. Now this can read your blood. It's possible. I mean, they're all prototypes, right? But that could read your blood. So instead of like, oh yeah, do the blood test. How many people are diabetics? What's wrong with you people? You know, come on. Jesus, there's nothing wrong with you? Have you all had checkups, right? Are you sure? Neuroses, possibly. Psychosis. I mean, just something, Am I going to find something? All right. But that's cool, right? So now diabetics just wear the what? Done. Don't. And by the way, it's sending it to the doctor, and the doctor is saying, this is the dose you should take, not that stupid normal thing that you're doing. Next. This is really cool. This is an idea where I don't know if I like this house. How many people have moved? Oh, come on, everybody moves. You're all living with your mother still? Come on, You don't remember that first time you went to the apartment, you went, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this. The Chinese have this thing, what is it? Feng Shui, right? But you have to hire someone. So what this is like an electronic feng shui. And you set it for yourself, and you go in. Okay. Boop. Go away now. Run. But it's, interesting idea, right? Next. This is really interesting. How many people live in North Africa? Oh, none of you. How many people care about the people that live in North Africa? I hope everybody, okay? All right, so there are people out there in the middle of nowhere, Sahara, right? And lots of other places, that get killed by lightning. A lot of them every year, by the way, because they can't hear the thunder. It's like this stupid little fact. It's killing people. So this is Satoshi, right? Satoshi said, what if we make a thing they wear that can hear thunder 40 kilometers away? And it tells you what direction it's coming from. It's like, I'm not going that way. Let's go over this way. Take the sheep. Let's go. Come on, this way. So, this is not going to happen in Madrid. Maybe it is. I don't know. How many people get killed in Spain every year by lightning? We don't know. In the United States, it's golfers, so we don't care. Oh, please go out. Let's go. It's just rain. Next. Okay, so this is amazing. This basically, this exists. Now, by the way, why I'm showing you all this, right, is we're going to create a big place to play in New York City, and we may have to do one in Madrid, I don't know, where designers and engineers come and can play with this stuff. There's like a consortium of 39 companies now that can make this stuff, but no one knows what to do with it. You can't keep putting it in the iPhone, right? iPhone is what, 900 products at this point, We've got to stop, got to think of another one. But that's what it looks like. Okay, next. Technology can change my life. You knew that, right? I thought it could. Next. All right, so here, this is the book. Where's the book? This is a colleague. Where's my thing? It's a really nice book. I'm going to leave it here. This is by a woman by the name of Rebecca Palace Friedman. It's about smart textiles. There's European stuff in here. I think there's Spanish stuff in here. I'm not sure. But there's a lot of people working on making the things we wear smart. For good reasons, by the way. Next. So here, here's shoes. We can make smart textiles. Next. What if shoes could tell us something? Besides, you should wash me. Have you washed your feet lately? All right, so that's a shirt, right? Now, and a lot of this is speculation and everything else. But, I mean, and you're all, kind of young, You're not thinking about, oh, my God, I wonder what's going on with my heart. Other than, he broke it again. I hate him, right? No, so, but what is it? What do we do with this? I mean, that's why I'm saying change my life. I'm asking the question. I haven't got a clue. What? All right, all right, so then I found a few products. Go ahead. Next. This guy is Sir Somebody. Some big deal Englishman, right? But he has this cane that basically tells him where he is. Now, you saw George Covington. I mean, George Covington had the white cane. Now, this is a white cane that's basically a radar stick. And it tells him or her what's going on, which is very cool. Next. This is a digital smart sole. It records all kinds of things about your feet and the impact and all that kind of thing. I got this off the internet. Next. Now, I drive one of these. I don't know, you have them here now. When I got a Tesla, I got number 207 or something, 207th off the line, 1998, somewhere in there, 97, because I consult with Toyota, one of the things I do. We study, one of the things that designers study at Toyota. What's the first thing you do after you've gone to the dealership? You've kind of made up your mind, I kind of think I want to buy a Toyota, right? Or a Renault, or a Peugeot, Fiat, Cinquecento. I love the name, right? I mean, how bad could the design be with a name like that? I mean, it's like, wow, what car has that? Only the Tesla, I think, outdoes Cinquecento at this point. It's like, it's just this brilliant name, right? If you put it in America, by the way, the name, we would screw it up. We would make it huge. It would have, big wheels. So, I don't know, have you ever driven a car like this? How many people have driven it? It's smarter than you. This is where we get to what do smart things do? This is smarter than me. I pull up to a light, and instead, I don't know, how many people drive cars? Anybody have a fast car? Fast, okay. Fast, stand up, fast car, okay? Fast girl, fast car, So, fast car. You sit at the light, right? Right? You've seen, come on, it's Madrid. They've got to be racing cars here somewhere, They're racing Renaults somewhere. Come on, right? You knew about it, right? Where's the place, right? The police even know about it. It's like, oh, no, too much trouble. Can't catch them, right? So that's how cars were. Now you get in that thing, you pull up to the light, and it's like, nothing. There's no sound. It's like, holy God, my God, there's no sound. How could there be no sound? Because it said, you really don't need me now. I'm going to shut off. It's really smart, right? It gets, by the way, I think the new one's 60 miles to the gallon. It gets it because it's smarter than you. Because if it was you, you'd be going, burning up the petrol. I am strong. I will go fast. Okay. Next. Okay, now there's smart and dumb. I don't know whether you may like some of these products, but get out there. Next. Okay, this is smart. This is a Roomba. Anybody know a Roomba? All right, we're going to get to why that's not a good idea either. No, it's a good idea, but it doesn't work because. Next. What is that? That's Dyson, right? Okay, Dyson. No, no, no. Both products have problems with the environment. Now we're back to universal design, because 90% of the problems that people with disabilities have is with the environment. I mean, who put the damn column there? You know, it's like, oh, okay, I'm fine. Oh, Jesus, you know. Or the gap, you know. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Not designed for blind guys. You okay? All right. So, next. Okay. So now I'm going to, put the Roomba against the Dyson. Next. But first, let's go to 1950. Hoover. Now, girls, tell me, why aren't boys pushing the friggin' vacuum? What's changed? Come on. Oh, yes, dear, I'm so happy to hear you're vacuuming for you. It's really nice. And you bought it for me on my birthday. As soon as he says toaster, you go, run. Now, there's Dyson. Oh, well, okay. You're going to catch me in one thing. It's cordless. But next. You still do all 12 things. Now, I know that all of you love to get up Sunday morning before your mother comes over for dinner and vacuum. Oh, yes, it's something we have to do. Oh, Bob, would you vacuum? No, I'm going golfing. I mean, look at that. How many of you ever done that with the product you designed? Raise your hand. No, nobody ever made you do that. If you were in my class, I make you do that. Go to the closet, open the closet, take the Dyson up. All right, get rid of the electric cord. Okay, but you still got to hang it somewhere, right? And of course, what I always love about the Dyson is that, of course, I want a big orange plastic thing hanging on my wall. Is that true? Oh, yeah. You don't want to go buy some nice art, or you have a friend that made a piece of sculpture instead of that piece of plastic crap, Turn on Dyson, push Dyson around. Rewind cord, push to closet. Open closet door. Put it away. Now, if I could do that with a real guy, I would do it. By the way, put him in the closet, close the door. Night. See ya. All right. No, all right, wait. This is better. Isn't that better? Wait, that's better. It's quiet. It's vacuuming. But if you look at the environment, it's a real problem. His legs going to go. No, Do you ever watch? I mean, we're all fascinated by this. Anyone ever watch one work? It's like madness. You ever cut? It doesn't vacuum like you would. Like, this is you, right? Okay. Roomba. What does that mean? It's kind of smart, but not really. I had a cat like that once, Next. So, I mean, the problem is in the environment. The environment is a problem. We have to completely rethink what our environments are like. If we actually believe that we can make them all accessible and smart and blah, 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 and have an easy, comfortable life, which is what we all want, right? What TV show would you be watching right now if you weren't here? I always ask that. Next. All right, next. Change the environment, change that. Next. Question is answered by adding, this is a very complicated metric. Universal design, social change, but next. Okay, now. How many of you watched the Jetsons when you were a kid? Everybody. Don't you love it? So all of this thing about like, the robot going around and the walking the dog, this is freaking crazy people in the 50s making this cartoon. Because if they hadn't done it, we'd go, oh, it's fine, I don't care, Kind of like the Jetsons, right? Remember the song? It's a great song. Next. Okay, so this was from an article about 2 weeks ago in Time magazine. Why do consumers want smart products? No one knows. Some of the things smart products can't do. Can't cook dinner, can't tidy up, can't grocery shop, can't fold laundry. Folding laundry, it can't really, we know that. And everybody loves to do that, right? And then it was a really fun thing to do. So he's like, oh, no, I'll do it. I'll fold the laundry. And it can't make you secure. Right? Next. Oh, no, next. Go back. Okay. Some of the things smart products can do. It can adjust light bulbs, restock the pantry, spy on your fridge. We know how much ice cream you have there. We're gathering the data. It can change your climate, right? And it can watch your back. I like the little cartoons, cute. Next. Okay, so we want something to be comfortable, safe, and easy to use. And now we're going to get another one, smart. Sounds like my first girlfriend. Come on, that was supposed to be funny. Next. Okay, does anyone know what this is? Come on. It's a Tesla ball. Did you ever have one of those? Like, if you ever had children, or you have children now, buy them a Tesla ball. It sits there and it's like this little purple thing and they go, it's amazing. We like Tesla, don't we? Nikolai Tesla. Gave us AC, electricity, which none of this would be possible without, by the way. Next. All right, so this is the future, 1954. Do you see anything odd about this? This is what people thought automobiles were going to look like. Were we in love with them? Every single design student loves these. When you were a design student, anybody a design student? Of course. Oh my God, 1950s automobiles, I loved them. Why? Don't know. Next. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you a story about how we can understand the future and actually enact all of this stuff. I was at a design conference in Boston with two really rich dudes who owned Knoll at the time. I can say Marshall and Steve. Really rich. I'm sitting between them, Marshall, Steve, and there's a guy from GM up there going, in the future, we will have cars that you will just say, take us to the laundromat, and it will. And Marshall leaned over to Steve and said, oh, we have that now. We call him John. Okay, you get it? It's chauffeur. Okay. Before there was Maytag, right? There was Sarah. So maybe if you like, oh, gee, that looks like fun. I want someone to hold the door for me. Next. Okay, so this is 1933. Does anyone know who this person is? Buckminster Fuller. You don't know? Oh my God, go buy the book tomorrow. Spaceship Earth. It literally will tell you that he was cataloging the Earth before he died. And he was like, this is, we got to do this. Way ahead of sustainability. This is the Dymaxion car. 1933. It could turn in its own radius. Next. And then there's this. Now, 1954, if somebody had drawn that, they'd go, "You're fired. Get out of here. That can't possibly be the future. You're wrong. Get out." Okay. You know, so my theory is study the rich. Watch them, you know. Wonder what they're doing now. Oh, it's time? I don't want it to be time. Okay, no, I think I'm done. Okay, so this is Internet of Things. Okay, next. Universe Design. How do these two ideas complement each other? Next. They're going to become universally smart. Another great image from Rebecca's book. Thank you very much. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I do. Do you have anybody have a question? Like, ask a question, good. I know the answers to all of them already. It's maybe. No, come on, ask one question, come on. One question. You want to ask a question? Who wants to ask the question? Oh, you do? Oh, here. Someone in our audience would like to ask a question.
Do you think that we, as consumers, really know what we want, or the designers decide that for us?
No, that's a great question. No, I think the only reason I was successful at designing things for Knoll, I designed for Knoll, the company that makes furniture. Yeah? Oh, I'm sorry. I asked people what they want. When we were designing the Office of the Future in the 70s and the 80s, I had a number of clients. One of them was, I had IBM as a client. And IBM was going through this trauma called computers, personal computers. It made big mainframes, and it didn't know, personal computer? What is that, right? And then there's these crazy people at the Xerox lab who invented the computer as we know it, with the mouse and everything else, and they presented it to management. It's my favorite story about computers. And management said, "We don't need that." So they gave part of it to a guy named Bill, and part of it to a guy named Steve. Guess which is the two largest computer companies in the world? Steve's company and Bill's company, because they didn't know what they had. So rarely, I think, do we know what we want, but I think what we need to do as designers is do more, make things and give them to people, because they don't know what they want. I mean, the problem with gathering data is that everybody wants a red or a black or a white car. That's what they'll tell you. It's just like everybody had sex this morning, right? Of course. You're a bunch of liars. I mean, I love when even the people that make up the questionnaires, they know everybody's going to lie about it, right? You know. What color do you like? What color do you like? What color? Oh, you like that color? Oh, no, I like that. No. Oh. If everybody said green, everybody would go, "Oh my God, what would we do?" And the reason is you test. If we have time, I have a great story about color and product. There's a wonderful designer in the United States. He's dead now, but his name is Russell Wright. Anyone that's interested in designing tabletop stuff, go to russellwright.com or Manitoga. Right? He and his wife wrote a book in 1948 called Guide to Easier Living. And it directed them to design the future, basically. So he designed tableware, glasses, plates, furniture, all for a lifestyle. If anyone knows what a chip and dip bowl is, you put chips, you put salsa in it. And lots of times you buy the really cheap plastic ones because you know they're going to break it. If it's a really important football game, right, you know, they're going to throw it. You're not going to put the silver one out there, right? Well, he invented that. But the best thing about the color idea, the color thing was, he did plates, cups, saucers. And he studied how food looked on the dishes. He didn't go, oh, it's just a perfect curve. Oh, yes, we'll make that one. No, he made dishes, and he painted them different colors, and then he put food on them, because that's what you're going to do with it, right? And it turned out that gray and black was really good for food. It means, oh my God, the food looks great. So he does this whole line of things for a very large ceramic company. And they said, oh, we're going to make the beige, and we're going to make the white, and we're going to make the yellow. And he said, oh, and you're going to make the black and the gray. And they went, no, because no one wants black and gray. We asked them. And he said, well, you can't make my pottery if you don't make black and gray. Guess what colors turned out to be the biggest sellers? Black and gray, to this day. He was such a rock star. Anyone know what Macy's is? It's just this giant store. When he designed a new set of tableware, there were lines around the block. The president's wife would come and cut the ribbon. I mean, he's a rock star, man. What designer can do that today? None of them, I don't think. Can they get people to? Because they just go to Amazon. Oh, yeah, you know. So we don't know. But if you don't do it, how do we know? If you don't do it, if you don't like give them the option, and you feel like, you know, I've looked, my eyes tell me that the food looks better on black. Marketing and sales, sorry, go golfing, you know. We'll try it. Let the consumer decide. I mean, where's my phone, right? I don't know. I stopped counting like 130 products, right? How many people, I went to school when objects had form. The phone had to wrap around your ears. The tape recorder buttons had to look a certain way. Do you know how many products we're not designing because of this? How many vacations designers are taking because of this? And the reason it looks like that is that it's nothing. It becomes whatever you want it to be. So if I predict that this is the future, most things will be like this, including clothes. You'll put on clothes and you go, nice red. Oh, yeah, no, I don't like the red. You know how I'm serious. You know how you stand in front of the mirror and go, oh, blue, no. 10 minutes later, right? Red, no, that's like, all right. White, no. You know, you just stand there with the iPhone. Red, blue, pink. Ooh, blue and pink. Ooh, polka dots, stripes. Ooh, wait, I like that. It's going to happen. I mean, that kind of stuff is going to happen. So that we will, and all of you who are younger than me are going to experience this very interesting design revolution. If you think that media is out of control on your phone, wait until designers get a hold of it. You know, wait until they start going, my stripes, not your stripes. My plaid. I mean, everybody loves plaid shirts. Plaid shirt? I love plaid shirts, right? What if you could change the size of the plaid? I don't really like this plaid. I want it a little smaller. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Anybody else have any other questions? That was one long answer, wasn't it? Are we supposed to leave? No. Okay. I don't know. I got an audience. I don't give a shit. All right, now one more question. Do you have a question? Gloria, do you have a question? Oh, here you are. Okay, all right, wait a minute. Is it door number 1? Number 2?
Number 2. Do you think we are becoming like cyborgs?
No. No, I think some people would like to be cyborgs. I mean, I think that people, there's amazing things being done with artificial legs and limbs and eyes and everything else. And people are becoming cyborgs in that sense. There's a woman, an American woman in the United States, who had lost both legs below the knees. And she's a runner. And so she has those plastic things, you know. So I don't know, stand up. Here, you stand up. Stand up. All right. Wait, you're going to like this. Wait, come over here. Come here. How tall are you? I don't know. She's this big. About this big is an exact measurement. You know that, right? How many people tell their kids, oh, my child is exactly. No, he's about that big, right? She's about this big, right? So she loses both the legs. This woman runner said, I want longer legs. He made her legs that were 3 inches long. She says, awesome. Put the 6-inch heels on. All right. So that now there are people that, quote, were disadvantaged, right? Now she's blowing everybody out of the water, saying, oh my God, you're 6 foot tall. What the hell happened? Oh, I got no legs. So in that way, I think, the use of we're starting to use the technology in artistic ways. And I think once you get art and technology together and design, it just goes boom. And you have things that are happening. It's like, oh my God, how'd they do that? I mean, do you have Cirque du Soleil here? Cirque du Soleil, the French, right? You ever been to it? You all think you're designers? I don't care who you are. If there's one in Madrid, go to it. I'm serious. Or wherever you live, you will be knocked out. I mean, if you think you know what theater is, go see Cirque du Soleil. They use technology they scare you with it. And it's in the theater, I mean, it doesn't replace the great, to be or want to be. It doesn't replace that person, right? But in terms of engineering, it's like, wow, holy shit. So I think that's going to happen, right? I think in a lot of ways, I think the super sensing that we will start to wear will make us better people in a lot of ways. Not at first, But then I think we'll be better people. You have one more question? Door number 3. No? We're done? We have to go?